Hey everyone, how are you? Thanks so much for checking out this live stream. My name's Simon. Today we are going to learn how to play 12-bar blues. Now I'm going to imagine that you are an alien, have just arrived on the planet Earth, and you don't know anything about this at all. It's pretty straightforward, can I tell you? If you are an alien, we're going to be able to get to the absolute detail of it in probably about 15-20 minutes. This is going to be an interactive live lesson, so if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. This came originally from a question from a Patreon member of mine at simonmorel.com / no, that's not right, patreon.com / Simon Morel. And he asked basically about, how do I do the 12-bar blues? What's the secrets to it? Are there any little things I could learn that would make it easier? So Ryan, this one's for you. We're going to basically just have a look through the whole thing. So first up, 12 bars. What does that mean? So 12 bars, a bar of music is basically a way of cutting music down to a smaller size to make it slightly more digestible. Okay, so a bar in music generally, lots of songs are in what are called 4/4, which means there's 4 beats in every bar, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So effectively, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 1 bar, and we're going to get 12 of those. So imagine you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. See what I mean? 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. All right, pretty straightforward. Okay, and what chords do we need to use to play a 12-bar blues? Well, without going too much into the detail, you need the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th chords of the key. So, for example, if we're in the key of A major, we need the 1st, which is an A. B is the 2nd, C sharp is the 3rd, D is the 4th, and E is the 5th. So you could do this on one hand always, mostly, pretty much, and you'll get the idea. So if A, B, C, D, and E are the 1, 4, and 5. In the key of G, we've got G is the 1, G, A, B, C, and D, 1, 4, 5. In the key of E major, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, and B. So you can see you can work out which chords you need pretty easily by just holding your hand up, all right? So E, A, B, G, C, D, and so on and so forth. So those are the chords you need. Now, the next part of understanding how it works is knowing how long to play each chord. And there's really one super popular form, and this is how it works. If you grab yourself a piece of paper, just write 12 bars on it. Something like, here we go. I'm going to do some writing. And on the top line, the first line, we're going to write 4 bars. Let me move that water so I don't split everywhere. Oh, we've got the cat who's come to visit. It's very exciting. So imagine we've got the first line here, and it's going to look like this. Here we go. All right. And then, so each line has got 4 bars. Let's do that. Now, let's imagine we're going to play in the key of A. So our first bar is going to have an A in it. Okay? First bar is going to have an A in it. And that, let's let the cat in. Go on, cat face. Let's go this way. No, you don't want to go that way. You realize you're live on the internet. You're really, really painful sometimes, but so cute. So that first line, we're going to have A, 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 A. So you basically have the 1 chord in that first line, okay? A, 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 A. Then you have the 4 chord. So in our case, what chord is that going to be? Let's have a little recap. A, B, C sharp. That's going to be a D. So we have 2 bars of D, D, D. Then we go back to the 1 chord. A, A. All right, the final 4 bars are basically what are called a turnaround, and it gets you back to the beginning. All right, so the top of the song is where you hit the 5 chord. So what would that be in the key of A? A, D, shout it out, E. It's going to be an E. So we hit E in our bar here. Okay, then we just cycle back down. So we go 5, 4, 1. And just to make it super clear that we're really at the end, we go back up to the 5 for the final bar of the 12. So effectively, that will sound something like this. Grab your guitar, play along, count in nice and slowly. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3. D, 4. That's right. D, 4, 1. Back to A. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. E. This is the 5 chord. 4, 1, 2. Then D. 4, 1, 2. A. 4, 1, 2. And then E. All right. And then it loops again. Okay, is that clear? I hope that's clear. If you've got any questions throughout, please don't hesitate to ask. It's really no problem. We'll answer them live as they come up. Let me just see if we've got anything up there. No, not yet. So, yes, like I say, don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions at all. So, there what we've discovered is that you have 4 bars of A, 2 bars of D, 2 bars of A, E, D, A, E. Or alternatively, if you wanted to use the numbers, 4 bars of the 1 chord. So if we're in the key of A, that's an A. Then we have 2 bars of the 4 chord. So A, B, C sharp, D. Then 2 bars of the A chord, the 1 chord. And then 1 bar of the 5, this is E. 1 bar of the 4, 1 bar of the 1, 1 bar of the 5. And that takes you around to loop it again. Okay. Now, obviously there are a number of different forms when it comes to playing blues guitar, those 12 bars. A very common sort of thing is for the 2nd bar of the whole thing to be the 4 chord. So you get this, A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, back to A. That often happens in a slow blues because obviously if you've got 4 bars and you're going at a relatively slow tempo, this sort of, and you've got 4 bars of that, it's a bit, you know. But if we've got 4 bars, 1, 2, ba, 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 that kind of B.B. King sort of thing. And then 2 bars of A. Right? D. That kind of thing, right? So that's quite a common form as well. So we've basically got 2 forms there, where in that first line, you either have all 1 chord or you have 1, 4, 1, 1. Okay. Please do ask any questions as I go if there's anything you don't get. Okay, now, then in the turnaround, there's a lot of different turnarounds that are available. Okay. But this is probably the most common one where you have 5, 4, my telephone. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, Richie, singer in a band are playing. Anyway, let's switch that off. So 5, 4, 1, 5. Okay? So that's the turnaround that's common. Now, sometimes you can have 5, 4, 1, 1. Like in Route 66, you know, you get the get your kicks on Route 66. Right? So There are loads of examples where they've just changed the form slightly, okay? But, you know, if you get together with a mate and you go, let's play 12-bar blues, I'd say 8 times out of 10, you're going to do 4 bars of 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5. Okay, so next thing, this is pretty dull. Can I tell you? It's pretty dull. So let's make it a bit more exciting. Now, something you've probably heard is something like this kind of thing, right? Now, what I'm doing there is I've got an A, right? And I'm playing the A and the E from that chord, using it with the back of my hand, hitting 2 of those, and then hitting an A and an F sharp. So we're going basically A5, A6, kind of, right? Now, what you do is you basically play quavers, so you got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, second bar, and 1 and 2. Do grab a guitar and play along. Pretty straightforward, right? Then what we're going to do exactly the same thing on the Ds, on the D and G strings. Switch. Then back down to the A and E chord, A and D strings. Right. That's our 7th bar, 8th bar. Okay, then we can hit the top, E, D, okay, and then A, E, round we go. Okay, get it? So that's a really simple shuffle. Now you can change that shuffle around to include chords as well. All right. So if you've got like this sort of, and then you could play maybe an A7. That could be in the 2nd bar, and then in the D chord, D7. A, D, here's the D, A, E. Okay, so all I did there was I played an A7, quite like that one in a blues, as opposed to a, I think that sounds a bit more, this D7. And then A7. Yeah, if you wanted to, put an E7 in there, D7, A7. Okay, so that's one idea you can add. Those 7 chords, of course, you can play anywhere on the guitar, right? So you could make them sound cooler by going. This is an A7. It's a D-shaped chord. 9, 8, 9 becomes A. D, E, F, G, A. All right? Equally, if you like this sound of this one, you can move that up to D. Right? Makes sense? A, B, C, D. So A. Now we're going to go, move up, back down to A. Okay, so what the really important thing is with the 12-bar blues, as you can see, is the form. So as long as you know what chord you're in all the time, you can effectively play anything you like. All right, as long as it fits in. put the heater on and my guitar's got a bit out of tune. As long as you fit in the boxes, right? So again, that form, first 4 bars are all the 1 chord, all right? The second, the 5th and 6th bars, 4 chord. 7th and 8th bars, 1 chord, all right? So effectively, let's play together. We're going to play A, D, D, A, E, D, A, E, right? But what you'll see I can do is you can do anything. So we've got A, first bar. As long as you stay. A. A9, this one. D. A. E. Right? Okay, so you get an idea that this is the reason it's so popular, the blues music thing, is because once you've got this form and you've learnt this, which surely everybody knows is a minor pentatonic scale, right? So 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, and you combine those two things by getting a PAL, or you get a looper pedal, fire up a looper pedal, and just play, you know, you get your here's a D. A. E. D. A. E. Right, so here's our thing. So you can say, just playing the scale sounds pretty cool, right? You can play. This is an A, E, D, A. Right? Or simply think about just 3 or 4 note phrases that you can play, right? Pretty cool, right? Doesn't have to be, you know, complicated. Right? Something else you can think about is always hitting an A note in the A chord. Hitting a D note in the D chord. Hitting an A note in the A chord, 7 and 8 here. 7 and 8, going up to the 5 chord. Right? A. Right. Or playing a phrase and landing on the A. Right? Landing on the D. Landing on the A. Landing on the E. Right? So, octaves. A. D. think you get the idea there. Okay, so we've got some questions that come in. Well done, everyone. Thanks for the questions. Love the questions. So Michael says, what was the chromatic bass run to the 4 chord from the first bars of the one, Simon? It's cool, huh? So we're basically, imagine we're in the 4th bar of the round. Okay, and we're going to go from the A to the D. A. We're going to hit A twice, B twice, C twice, C sharp twice. All right, so it's going to sound like this. This is the 3rd bar, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... All right. Now you can do the same thing back down. So imagine we're in D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So I just went A, C, B, B flat. Right. So you get an idea of that you can move as long as you're moving chromatically up into the next chord. So, for example, A, going to A and E. So we're in the 8th bar. We're going from an A, which is the 1 chord, to the 5 chord, the E. Right. So we've got A. Here we go. We go A, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Okay, get it? So that is a super cool thing. Sorry, I did. There. Okay, it's pretty awesome. All right, Trav. G'day, Trav. Very cool. I could muck around like this all day. Yes, you literally can. I reckon I mucked around all day like this for about 10 years, between about 12 or 13 and 23. Would love to know a little about the wireless setup you're using. Ah, yes. I am using a Boss WL20. So it's just a simple dongle wireless device. There's one here, and then in my guitar amp, there is one plugged in. On the internet, people say that they're not any good. I don't know, maybe because it's not really, really expensive, or it's maybe not the right brand, or I don't know. But I've got to say, I've had this particular one for about 5 years, ever since it came out, and I've played loads of gigs with it, like, I don't know, 200, something like that. 200 gigs with it, and had absolutely no problem. The only time I had one problem was when we had a more modern desk, instead of like an old-fashioned sort of big PA desk that, you know, plugs everywhere. It was one of these newfangled ones with Bluetooth and stuff. And so the sound guy used an iPad, and was the iPad to control the levels, and the iPad was connected to the desk, so he could do that kind of thing. It was like a digital desk. That was the only time I had any problem. I had a slight dropout, like it was a bit intermittent. So in the second set, I did change to a cable. That's the only time. In here, at home, it's just awesome. I know there's a whole bunch of different brands. The reason I bought a Boss one is that I've had some Boss pedals like that Boss tremolo up there. I've had that for forever. And there's literally, if there's ever a nuclear war, let's hope there's not, it's going to be like cockroaches and Boss pedals left. So I figured they probably go okay with the wireless situation as well. So I think it's fantastic. I love it. Absolutely think it's awesome. Bill earlier this morning said, "Hi Simon, what would you recommend as a good practice routine?" Split your practice routine into 3 things. Number 1, do a warm-up, something like this. is really easy. You can do, it's the sort of thing you can do before you've had a cup of coffee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going up and down with your right hand, you can see there. Always joining the notes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? Always use a metronome, right? Or a drummer or something. Tick tock, 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 tick, right? And then that way you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can actually judge how quickly you are going. Right? You judge how quickly you're going, how good your time is. And as you get better, you make the metronome go faster and faster. Right? That is a great warm-up. Next, or you can play scale. Or you could put a blues backing track on and it's kind of a fun time. Oh, cat's back. She's a menace. She's cute, but she's a menace. All right, out you go. Go on, Catface. Out you go. All right. Real name, not actually Catface. Just a thing we have. You know, she's basically my nemesis. Anyway, the other two people who live in my house, they're a big fan of the cat. I don't know. You know, it's all right. It's good lap warmer. Now, so the middle bit of your practice, if you're focusing on a piece, do that next. All right. So imagine you're going to do half an hour or 3/4 of an hour. For the first 5 minutes, do a warm up because it gets your brain out of the rest of your life. It lets you practice, concentrate on the guitar. You know, the other good thing about this exercise, you can really concentrate on technique, being as close as you can be to the frets, all that sort of stuff. Okay. That lets you concentrate on that. Then you're learning whatever you're learning. Imagine we were learning Exit Music by Radiohead. Practice that. If there's a tricky chord change, practice that, going from to. Yeah. And then for being a good student, you get to play whatever you like for the rest of your practice. So imagine if we had like I say, half an hour or 3/4 of an hour, 5 minutes, warm up. 20, 25 minutes, half an hour practicing the tune or whatever it is you're learning. And then the rest of the time, you do whatever you like for being a good student. And how many times a week should you practice? Well, I need you to quit your job or whatever you do and practice guitar for 28 hours a day. Or just do what suits your lifestyle. So I always recommend to private students that you should do, probably 3 times a week, 4 times a week. You know, don't make it a really big thing that you're like, oh my God, I didn't practice. You know, my life's going to end. Just practice what you can. All right. But the more often you do it, the better. Just doing little, even if you could only do 5 minutes one day, you can only do that. Do that. All right. Okay, Michael asks, how is it best to miss chords and solos in the 12-bar format? I would say the first thing is that if you are just playing by yourself, right? Just fill the gaps, right? Still A. D. A. E. That's the first sort of thing. If you're playing with a mate, which is, I think, the gold standard for this kind of blues situation, because it's the sort of thing that even if you're playing with somebody who's literally brand new and they can play those 3 chords, they can just do that and you can have a bit of a play. But I always just trade, so, you have 12, I'll do 12. If it's going really well towards the 10th, 11th bar, like, I'm going to do another one. right? So you do another 12. So you're always going to, if you're solo, it's not like you have a bit of singing and then solo in the 12 bars. You fulfill the whole solo 12 bars. It's quite a jazz approach, actually. You know, a lot of jazz tunes, if they're an A-B sort of situation, you know, two different sections, you know, if somebody takes a solo, they'll solo over the whole of the A and the whole of the B, and then it'll come around again. All right. It's very rare that somebody just solos over the A section and then the singing comes back in or whatever in the B section. So that is the blues sort of standard soloing situation. Mixed chords and solos. I mean, you, like I said before, Michael, you can really do anything you want as long as you are staying in the form, right? So, for example, this is going to be a bit ridiculous, so, you know, but A, 1, 2, 3, D, A. Well, you know where I am, right? Oh my gosh. I'm glad this isn't live on the internet or anything. But you see what I mean? Like, you still, even when I was, you knew where you were in the form. So as long the form, basically the most important thing to get, the form is king. Okay. All right. I reckon that probably covers us for an alien's introduction to 12-bar blues and what they need to do on 12-bar blues. Obviously, this is a massive topic. There's licks you can learn, you know, sort of set licks. Things like that, you know. But that's maybe for another time, you know. I think that what I wanted you to get today is basically get the form, understand what you can do, understand sort of shuffling. Understand that you can use any kind of A chord, you know, A7, A9, you know, A13, woohoo! You know, doesn't really matter. You get A minor, you know. D minor. D minor 7/6, yeah. A minor. E minor. D minor. A minor. E minor. Okay? Do you see what I'm getting at? So basically, as long as the form A, D, D, A, E, D, A, E, you're following that form, or 1 1 1 1 4 4 1 1 5 4 1 5. Basically, if you're following that form, that is the key. Okay. So, oh, and the final thing as well, just to understand what chords you have to use, you can do that on one hand. So, for example, we were in the key of A just then. So A, B, C sharp, D is the 4, E is the 5. If we were in the key of C major, and you want to play a blues in C, C, D, E, F, G. If you wanted to play a blues in, I don't know, G, G, A, B, C, D. Make sense? Okay, I reckon that really does cover us off. Now, I'm going to give you 30 seconds for any extra last-minute questions, and then I'm going to go and have another cup of coffee. All right, so thanks, everybody, for your questions. Thanks, Michael, for your questions. Thanks, Trav, for your questions. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Bill, at the very beginning for your question on practice. I do hope this has helped. Any further questions, please just let me know. You can contact me via my website, simonmorel.com. And if you want lessons like this, you want to support the channel, you want to support this live stream, you can go to patreon.com/Simon Morel, where you can get access to my chart library of over 3,000 charts. You can get access to extra lessons. You can ask questions that I will answer here on a Sunday morning for you. A whole bunch of extra stuff, which I love doing. Absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really grateful for everybody who supports me over at Patreon. We're coming up to 100 supporters. So that's pretty exciting, I've got to say. So that's pretty awesome. And 13,000 subscribers here at YouTube. So that's just wild. I literally can't believe it. Well, we've got some more comments. Michael, good session. Trav, great. Thank you. Well, I will see you guys. Really do appreciate it. I will see you next time. Thanks very much. Do go and check out patreon.com/Simon Morel. Bye for now. Have a great Sunday. Ciao. Bye.